Hi there. Good evening, everybody. It is, well, it's November the 4th. I wasn't going to do a show this week, and then I decided last night I would do one. I had a lot of extra time today, so I figured I would do one, and I'm happy that I did. So we've got some really amazing things to look at today. Really is just what we usually do, but the list of dropping names that is expiring tomorrow is really good. It's one of the better ones that I've seen, so I think you're really going to enjoy that. I also want to take a look at, I posted a list in the Art of the Name Facebook group, I guess a couple days ago, maybe 3 days ago, about names that were dropping yesterday. And then what's amazing is I went ahead and I looked today at what names were available that people didn't register or go after. And I was able to grab most of the ones that I put in there. I think I put about 60 or 70 in the Art of the Name. And I think a lot of you liked it, but I'm not sure a lot of you looked through the list. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the list that dropped today that I posted a couple days ago. And we'll see some of those names that I was able to get, and I'll explain some of the reasoning behind that. Then we'll look at the great list of names that are expiring tomorrow, which is surprising because it's a really good list. And you'll notice there's a couple of themes in there. So somebody obviously registered some in bulk with certain topics and then decided to drop them. I'm a little tired today, so there's no root beer today. I'm having coffee, and then right before I got on the show, I decided to have a little bit of this because I figured it would give me a good sugar boost to get me through the show, and it seems to have done that. Anyway, so as people start to come in, I'll start to look at some of the stuff. Feel free to add in any questions, anything you want to know about, any domains that you like, any domains that you grabbed, even from yesterday's list that I posted, or anything that you're going to grab today from the available names. So without further ado, I think I'm going to share the list of names. John says, always Nick is, hi, he's always the first one here. I don't know how he does it. Good morning, Adam, from my side. 7 a.m., John, that's crazy. Crazy, I don't think I'd get up that early to see me. As a matter of fact, I know I wouldn't. But that's just me personally. Okay, let's take a look at some of the stuff that we have. And now I'm going to look at, like I said, I just picked out a bunch of names that I liked from the 80 that I posted that were actually dropping today. So you'll be able to get a look at those and try to understand my way of thinking and looking at them. So I'm just making it a bit bigger so you can see it, and then I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And then I'll tell you which ones I actually wanted and which ones I wanted more than others, and we'll go through that. So let's look at Notepad dropping on the 4th. So let's share that window with you. We'll get rid of my face. So this is from the list of 60 that I posted in the Art of the Name. These are some of the ones that stood out to me. And then I'll tell you why I didn't go after them. Bill's saying he didn't see the dropping list till a couple hours ago and looked at the page, just didn't show the post. That's weird. I think I'm going to get into starting to post them a lot more often. But hopefully you guys will use them. Anyway, let's look at these. So these were like my top 10 or 12, and then some I decided to back out of, and I'll tell you why. So accessibility website, everything is becoming WCAG certified right now, or for accessibility, meaning everybody with a disability can actually access the website. So for me, accessibility website was pretty good. It's a really good name, and it has some huge search volumes and things like that. Skylight Contractor is one that I wanted, but I didn't get. Somebody must have backordered it from the group. Worker from home, I looked at the numbers. Work from home is good, but worker from home isn't, so I deleted that from my list. Paid the Rent, although I thought this could be a really good name for something because it sounds like it's a good brandable, but then when I checked searches, had nothing. Lily Florist, I'm just not in the florist types, but probably Lily is a good one. I took that one off. And then I looked at gingivitis treatments. Gingivitis treatment had some searches, but gingivitis treatments didn't. People look for a singular treatment. They don't look for multiple treatments. So I took that off my list. And then I went to flavored yogurts, and I spelt it two ways. I spelt it the Canadian way, which is O-U-R-E-D, and then which is the Canadian and British way. And then I spelt it without the O, which is the American way, and I grabbed both of those. They both have huge search volume. So I did grab both of those. That's why it says me. Vegan birthday cake. I tried to get vegan birthday cake because most people will search for one cake. But then the difference is here, and this is important for you guys to learn. So if I'm looking for a birthday cake for somebody, I'm looking for birthday cake. But if I'm a store selling cakes, I'm selling vegan birthday cakes because I have more than one to offer. So this is a good example of how the plural and the singular can both be really good depending on what you're looking for. So keep that in mind. Rechargeable mouse, didn't get it, didn't go after it that much. I looked, it has some good search engine stuff, but I didn't get it. Ergonomic mesh chair, this one I did get because it has a lot of traffic and it's really targeted. Obviously, we know what they're looking for. We know where it is. Keto birthday cake, same thing. Keto is very popular. If I'm looking for keto birthday cake, I'm looking for one that I can buy for somebody's party. If I'm looking for multiple because I'm selling them, then I want to have keto birthday cakes. Pretty good one. So I got that. Keto donut. I would have preferred keto donuts because that's most people think of donuts. They don't think of one donut, but I was still got that one. Praying mat I didn't get, and surprisingly enough, it didn't have that many searches. So I don't know whether it was prayer mat or something like that, but praying mat didn't have a lot in it. Getting a couple of questions now. We'll look at it afterwards. And the Justice Store, I thought this was good because, well, to me, it seems like you could have everything to do with lawyers or legal or judges, and you could sell gavels or robes or anything to do with agreements or things like that. It could be any kind of documentation regarding legal. It could be a lot of things. That one I think is still available now, except obviously only the people in the video are going to know about it. So I think that one's still available now, and you can look at it. These were my top picks based on looking at the list of about 60 that I posted. Now I was surprised that somebody from the group didn't go through these a little bit better and look at the actual search results and look at the search numbers. Today, I was also working with Melanie, who's probably here and a good friend of mine, and she found that the ketodiet.ca dropped. So we registered that, and I've gotten a lot of really good registrations lately that I'm quite happy with. So let's go back. I'll stop screen sharing this. Back with me, and there you go. So those are the names that I liked that came out and dropped yesterday and were available today for registration. Interesting, how important is a keyword search volume to you and buy a domain? It's less than 1,000, you pass. So that's a good question. I don't pass on a domain name if it's less than 1,000 searches. For me, the search volume, while it's interesting, it's more about what business would be interested in purchasing that name. So search volume is good if I'm just thinking that people are going to come to me, or I'm going to build a site, or I'm going to actually, build a site with AdSense and things like that to drive traffic. And then I care about the traffic. But if I'm just selling a site to a business, or I'm just investing in a domain name, if it has 1,000 searches, it doesn't really matter to me unless it depends if it's a really good name. But anyway, it's not all that important to me like people say it is to them, where they have to have 1,000 searches. If I can find something like, I don't know, Boston Landscape or Boston Gardener, Miami Dentist, Miami Clinic, whatever it is, if it's a brand, Miami Florist, I don't really care about the searches. I care more about the number of people that I can sell it to. Hey, Mel, good to see you. I knew you'd be there. Okay, so that's the list from yesterday. Now we're going to look at a list of domains that are dropping tomorrow. Just making sure I have the right file. I'm going to bring it over here. So this is a really interesting list. There are a lot of really good domains on this list, so you really want to pay attention. I can tell you right now that the dropping list that we have for tomorrow is one of the strongest I've seen in a while, and you'll see why when we go through it. There's a lot of really high-end domain names as I look through it, and some you're going to think, wow, I'm surprised that's dropping tomorrow. The one with the most search volume, I can tell you before we switch there, since they're expiring names anyway, it's radiocontrolledcar.com. That's dropping tomorrow. So that's the best one as far as traffic goes on the list. I think it's got about 25 million searches a month. Anyway, we'll go through it now and let's take a look and see what we have. So we're looking now at names that are dropping tomorrow. These are not available names. These are names dropping tomorrow. Did we get the right file? We did. Let me get rid of that banner so you can see everything you need to see. Get rid of that. Okay, so these are names that are dropping tomorrow. So let's look through the list. We're starting out with a small one, Arkansas Dermatologist. Again, this is up there as an example. There's 1,380 people that look for it. What I'm concerned with is that if I get Arkansas Dermatologist, then I'm not gonna travel the whole state to go see a dermatologist. So you want to get more of a city with certain types of services rather than the whole state. For example, if you have Texas, you're not going to travel from San Antonio to Houston to go see a dermatologist unless you really have a problem, in which case you can go see the pimple popper or somebody else. So let's take a look at some of the other ones, because it's a really strong list and I want to spend time going through and analyzing it and letting you know why it's a good list. The next domain is predicted bets. It's obviously a good name for somebody who does sports predictions or things like that. Or if you want to do something based on stats or analytics, you could do that, 1610. Plant-based burgers. Now it's not based, it's plant-based burgers, and you're going to find plant-based burger and plant-based burgers are both there. And it keeps with the strategy that I've always told you. There's 2,900 people looking for the plant-based burgers, but really you're always looking for one burger at a time, usually if you're hungry, and that's 4,100. So more are looking for the singular there. Now we get into our first trend, doctors for. So there's going to be about 10 domains in here that are doctors for. So doctors for backs, 3,000. Free malware scans, 3,400. You can actually do a scan for people, tell them what's wrong, and then offer them 1 or 2 or 3 pieces of software. That's what I see everywhere, and you make affiliate revenue off of that. So I like that. Customs boxes. At first I thought custom boxes, it's a misspell, but then I thought, well, if you're sending stuff through the borders and stuff like that, customs boxes isn't a bad idea. 3,530 across there. We've already talked about the plant-based burger, which is 4,000, 4,100 a month. Again, it's plant-based, not plant-based. So people either don't know what they're searching for or what. Doctor for kidneys, 6,650. And you'll notice that somebody dropped a lot of these and they have a lot of traffic. I'd rather see pet-friendly hotel, but this one is friendly pet hotel, which is the way people tend to Google on this one, 8,650. Tutor's house, this wouldn't be a bad one for a company that is doing home tutoring, 8,890. American Service Pet, 10,800. Fencing calculator. So this is a calculator to figure out how much fence you'll need around your lot. It's not for sword fighting. 15,000 people look for that. Sharing docs. Obviously, this is a great domain name because it's exactly what Dropbox and Google Drive and all the other companies do, but it's a generic of it, which is why it's so good. Sharing docs, 19,100 people. Rent cargo van, an exact match for what you'd be doing, 19,300. As you can see, and feel free to post your comments, these names are pretty strong. Welder repairs, about 20,000. Now, I wouldn't know when to get a welder and when not to get a welder, so just because I'm not very handy, but for those of you that are, you'll know welder repairs is a good one. It's becoming winter shortly everywhere, including around here. So tires inflator, probably tire inflator. I don't know, tires inflator could be a pump or something that you were selling 24,400 people. Look for it. And again, like keto, anything vegan or anything keto, anything like that right now is very popular. Vegan icing, 33,000 people a month are looking for vegan icing. So that's something you may want to pay attention to. Some company's going to want to buy that eventually for sure. Gift card generators. So this is 40,000 people a month. So let me explain that to you. There's a piece of software out there that you can get. It's not expensive, and whoever gets this name may want to talk to me about it. You can actually generate and create gift cards for companies or for businesses or for restaurants that don't already have them, and you basically create a whole gift card program for them automatically, and it's pretty cool. I've seen it out there a couple times, and I almost bought it the last time, but it's really good. So you may want to take a look at that. It's a business in a box, gift card generators, perfect terms. And it's easy for companies that don't have gift cards to be able to offer them with what you provide them. They don't have to do anything. Auditing class, this could be anything related to auditing, 40,700. Laminate floor installed, 42,000 people. I guess they buy it and they don't know how to install it. Now we go back to the doctors. It gets more popular. Doctors for kidney is 6,600. Doctors for knees becomes 51,000. So you can see it gets more and more traffic as we get to more and more doctors' names. Developer consulting, this could be for anything, could be for software development. It's a really good 2-word domain name for a consulting company that develops anything. That's 54,000 people are looking for that one. Now, where are we going next? Cybersecurity, I skipped, safety scanners. Safety scanners is also a good name. Could be for anything. 55,000 people looking for safety scanners. Cybersecurity consultation, it's a really strong name. Cybersecurity is the future. Lots of new cybersecurity companies coming up, so pay attention to that one. I believe there's another one related to that down here. Doctors for Hearing goes to 60,000, and you can see these doctors' names all have great traffic, great for directories, no question about it, and they can pay for listings. That's why they're all pretty good. Whoever had them made a mistake dropping them all because they have major traffic. Ratedapartment.com. Well, this could be for if somebody's like I'm looking for an apartment for my daughter to live in a city not far from here. She has to go back to school for 4 months. So if I could go to a site and find out what the apartments were rated, I would have a better idea of where I wanted to put her because I don't want to put her in like a prison or a cell. I want to get her a decent apartment. Rated apartment sounds like a job on its own. If you want to design newsletters for companies, well, what's better than design newsletters? 81,300. You can see that a lot of these names that I've picked out of the 61 that are here are basically businesses in a box, and you could basically get one and run a business. Anti-anxiety medicine, 87,000 people a month look for anti-anxiety medicine, sorry. So, well, maybe you now want to look for anti-anxiety medication as well. So take a look for that one. Doctors for Hands, 90,000 people. I would tend to go for one of the other ones first, but this one has more traffic. Billboard advert. This is a great one for billboard advertising. It's short, billboard advert. Again, you can sell bus stop advertising, whatever you want to do. These are like businesses in the box. That's why I think this one is really good. Doctors for Eyes, obviously eye doctors, 97,000. And you can see I wasn't kidding when we have a couple of good themes in here. There's a lot for the eyes, so pay attention to those. Customized software development, 110,000 a month are looking for customized software development. It's long. I wouldn't suggest you use that name as your business, but I would use that name to get indexed and then forward traffic to your business if you're doing software development. External recruiter. I think that's a pretty good name. If you're, a lot of companies have recruiters that they bring on, external recruiters besides HR, and they use them. 113,000 a month, and external recruiter is a pretty good name. Cybersecurity auditing, again, tied into the other cybersecurity one. 118,000 people a month look for cybersecurity auditing. Doctors for pregnancy. Obviously, everyone is paying attention with pregnancies and stuff, and doctors for pregnancy are obviously quite good. 125,000. We go back to the laminate floors installed, and now we have hardwood floors installed. 152,000 a month are looking for a hardwood floor installer or installed. Maybe you want to look for installer as well. Pleasuring toys, 155,600. I'll let you figure out what that is. Custom clothes designers. Sorry, let's read better. Custom closet designers. It's a big business. Obviously, people come in, they do. You would probably like Custom Closet or customclosets.com instead, but Custom Closet Designers is pretty good. 157,000 like Custom Closet Designers. And again, you don't have to use any of these as your main website. You can if you want to, or you could leverage the name for the traffic that it's bringing and get leads. Trading leverage, there's lots of leverage trading going on now, especially in stocks and crypto. Stop racist. So I had racism.com for a long time. And I sold it because I was realizing that I'm not sure what people would do at racism.com. I'm not promoting racism, but Stop Racist or Stop Racism is a good name because it's got an action beside it. 284,000 people a month thinks it's also a good name. Then besides custom software development, we have freelance software development. 295,000 are looking for freelance software development. And then you can see we come into a whole bunch more of doctors. Doctors for allergy. You can look for doctors of allergies, doctors for allergies as well, doctors for sleep, doctors for asthma, doctors for feet. All of them have over 350,000 searches a month, which makes them quite valuable, again, for anything that we're going to do. Those are really good. I mean, especially for me, people have to see doctors for feet all the time, probably allergies too, sleep for sure. A lot of people have trouble with it, especially combined with anxiety, asthma. These are all good doctors for that the person dropped. Somebody's not going to get all of them, but you can certainly try to get one or two and build a site on it. Management, houses for elderly. This could be like homes for elderly or houses for elderly, like seniors homes, 389,000 a month. Management course online. It's not a bad search. 400,000, 402,000 a month are looking for this one. Again, doctors for arthritis, 488,000. 500,000 people are looking for doctors for arthritis. So you could do something there. Water air purifier, 620,000 a month. Then you go to vinyl floor cleaning, 635,000 a month. That's a lot of traffic for vinyl floor cleaning. You may want to do something with, again, some sort of directory where you could refer cleaners. Treat lymphoma, 706,000 people are looking for that. I know what that's like since my dad died from a brain tumor, which was lymphoma. People are looking for that. They're obviously looking for treatments, so it's a highly searched term. Bike repair kit, 723,000 people are looking for a bike repair kit. It could be a motorcycle or it could be a bicycle. Doesn't really matter. You can decide. And then we have, besides external recruiter, we have external recruitment. 754,000 people are looking for external recruitment. Cozy slipper I left on because, well, I wear slippers around the house. Cozy slipper is a really good keyword for that. I don't know if it's a company or not already. You'll have to check, but 767,000 people are looking for a cozy slipper. I'm surprised they're just looking for one because they need two. Systems audit. This is a business in itself as well. Systems audit, you could audit any system for any company anywhere you want, and this is a huge business where you can charge 20 to 30 to 40 to $50,000 and up. So systems audit, a very strong name with 900,000 people a month. Grants manager, 1.7 million people are looking for a grants manager. Don't know what it is. Sounds like it's somebody who manages grants and approves them, so that's probably why they're looking for them. And then a loan for women. I left this in here because there's a lot of things that are coming up for women and groups. So 2.4 million are putting out loans for women and are looking for it. Maybe there's certain groups that offer loans specifically for women to start up businesses, which would be great. Then we go back to housing for elderly, 4.3 million people looking for housing for elderly, which goes up here for houses for elderly. Same sort of thing, except housing has about 10 times the searches as houses for elderly. Metal bed frames, 4.8 million people are busy searching for that. Can't really tell you why, but it's a high search term. Service for car, I mean, who wouldn't want that with 7.2 million people looking for service for a car? That's obviously a good term. And then the last one, which I told you about already, 25 million looking for radio controlled car. So these are some really great names in this list. It's even hard for me to narrow down which are the top 10 out of this 61 that are here. But I mean, I can try to go through what I would take. It's tough though. Radio controlled car, I'd leave. Service for car, I think I would leave. I would drop the metal bed frame, drop the housing, grants manager, no. Systems audit for sure. Cozy slipper, sorry. Bike repair kit, treat lymphoma. Vinyl floor cleaning, may leave it. Water air purifier. Management course online, I'll drop that one. And I'll go through some of these and just pick them out and see what I would do. Custom closet designers, I like it. It's just too big. The toys one, not in that industry. Hardwood floor installed. I would like to see this one or hardwood floor installer. So I'll drop that one only because of that. Doctors for pregnancy, I mean, there's so many of these doctors ones. I'm going to leave them in and not count them as my 10. So we can take a look at those. I like the external recruiter. I like that better than the other one that was here. Customized software development, too long. Billboard advert is really good. I'll leave the doctor's ones in. Anti-anxiety medication with 86,000 is a really good one. I like design newsletters. I'll drop rated apartment. I like cyber security consultation. I'll drop that one. Developer consulting is pretty good, but it's not as good as some of these. I'm going to keep the gift card generators just because I know it's a business that most people don't know they could have gift cards done for their business in like 5 minutes. So there's lots there. I have no welder experience. Sharing docs is a real winner, by the way. It could be one of those that slide through that nobody sees. Fencing calculator, well, I just got rid of it, so we'll keep that one back afterwards. You'll have to remember I've had it. These ones, the rest of them, not really that keen on. So none of these I would keep. Get rid of that one, get rid of those. Plant-based burgers, it's great, but who knows? I may keep free malware scan even though I deleted it because I think you could bring people in and do all kinds of things with it. Vegan icing, I think, is pretty good. So I think that one's okay. I have to really look, but so billboard advert is a good one. Anti-anxiety medication, design newsletters, cybersecurity consultation, developer consulting. Laminate floor I'd get rid of because I'm not very handy. Audit and class, I don't need that. So there's a lot of really good ones here. I mean, you can sort them by name if you want as well, and it puts all the doctors ones together, and then you could see what's left. Radio controlled car, just because you could do a whole site and sell nothing but radio controlled cars, if they still call them that, which based on the 25 million traffic they do. I love systems audit. Trading leverage can go. Vegan icing isn't really a business, but these are some pretty good names that are in here. So take a look at the list. You can look at all these doctors' ones: allergy, arthritis, asthma, eyes, feet, hands, hearing, knees, pregnancy, and sleep, and decide if there's any one or two there that you want to pick to run a business on. Those are pretty good names. So tell me which ones of this list you like, and let me know, and I will make this list available, as always, in the Art of the Name Google Drive group, and you'll be able to download it and sort through it and do what you want with it. But I suggest you pay attention to the list this time and make sure that if there's something that you want, you either back order it or watch for it, because these names are going to, a lot of them are going to be sought after for sure. So pay attention to that. It's going to be a really good drop tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Anybody like anything specific? Lots of comments. Let's see what we got. So Jeffrey, hello all. Yes, hey Jeff. Yeah, this is a great list. What time do they drop tomorrow? So they will become available if nobody backordered them after 2:30. So pay attention to that drop time after that. Justin, all drops, yeah, 2 to 2:30, but they become available by 2:30. Takes less more an hour for all to drop. Yeah, that's why I check at 2:30. Good answer, my Facebook user. Anti-anxiety medication is good. I just bought parasite medicine last week. Yeah, it's a pretty good name. Justin Bashaw, they likely drop at different times. They do. Like today when I was watching the drops, some of the names I was looking for, some of them dropped right away, and then I had to wait hours or an hour till the rest of them dropped. Words like doctors for, are the names a bit too long to fetch mid four-figure sum? No, probably not. Probably I would price them at around, depending on if I want to move them quicker or not, I would price them at anywhere between 18 to 2,800 or 3,800 if I wanted to move them fast. If I wanted to hold on to them for a while, I'd price them higher. It's up to you. So I'll nab about 10 of these. Many are valuable. Yeah, I think many are valuable. This is one of the best drop lists I've seen in a while. And even if you take out all the doctors I think it's still a really good list. Anybody have any other questions or concerns? Now we're going to go look at Dan.com. Melanie has been kind enough to allow me to use her profile to show you the names in Dan. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and then we're going to look at that and go through. She's added 55 names to it, and we're going to go through, and I'm just going to show you how you guys should set up some settings for your domains, where to click things, where to set them up to make sure you're optimizing to get sales from Dan. So nobody has any questions, I'm going to switch to that. Somebody made a comment first. Yeah, plant-based burger is great. It will be huge soon. Yeah, it will be. I don't know if it's sadly. It's not sadly if you own the domain name. It won't be so sad. You'll be a lot happier. Okay, let's go look at the screen and let's walk through a bit of Dan. Now, there's going to be some questions probably on the Dan platform. I'll answer what I can. The goal here is just to make sure that you guys know how to get your portfolios and list everything for sale. So I'm now sharing my screen. This is Melanie's platform. Thank you, Melanie, for allowing me to display it here. So one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to log in. You're going to see your domains. You can go to Portfolio. That's where you're going to add your domains. You can basically go in and just hit Add Domains and then do them. What I like to do, if you have a bunch of names that are all the same, like let's say she had a bunch of names that end in, I don't know, homes or landscaper, I would go grab all of them and I would price them all the same and see how they go. She's got some really good names in here. Like, quite honestly, somebody should grab weedresellers.com from her for $1,200. It's a really great name, especially with where we're headed. If somebody doesn't buy that tonight, it's a shocker. So I would go through and I would make sure all these are done. So once you add your domains in here, basically what you're going to do is you're going to click each one of these buttons individually. So this one, you pick your currency. So this will tell you want dollars. It's American dollars. You could change it to pounds. You could do whatever you want. And you can also add domains. We registered a domain today, Melanie and I forget what it is. Hopefully she's going to tell me. I have it in my list actually on here. What the heck was it? She'll remind me in a minute. I was supposed to add it during this demo. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to do that one automatically. It's not going to be set for you. You're going to pick your currency, because if you're selling UK domains, you may want to sell them in pounds, or you may want to sell in euros. For all of her domains and most of mine, they are in dollars. The P tells them when you've got your domain pointed to the Dan name servers, it's saying that it's parked and it's showing properly. This one you do not set, it comes in automatically. This one here, you also do not set. This tells you if you're allowing installment payments for the domain name. So we'll take a look at how you set that up in a second. And then this one is rent. So if you want to rent one of your domain names, then Melanie doesn't have this on, but you basically click this, you hit enable, and then you can change the price to whatever you want to rent it to a month. I'll just leave it at $100 a month, and we'll leave it. That's how you get the R done. So I'll enable it here, and that's ready. So now when we go to this page, I don't know if it's going to pop up for you. It is. You'll be able to see now we've added the rent domain for $100. They can buy it now for $1,200. They can lease to own it for $100, which is $1,200 divided by 12, or they can do a rent for $100. And there's different ways to set up this lease to own, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So let's go back to where we were. So that's one of the things that you want to set up. And again, you can import domains. I just want to see if Melanie left me a message on what domain it is. Yes, she did. Thank you. So we're going to add a domain that we picked up from the list today. It's a good one, colontests.c, I think it was .com. So colontests.com, just making sure. Yeah, so this is a really good domain. We added this today. We bought it today. It was on the available list that I'm going to get to shortly. Obviously, you didn't see it. Thanks, Melanie, for refreshing my memory. As Scott once told me that I forget more than he'll ever learn. So you see we added colon tests. It has none of these things lit. It's pointed to it, so it'll take a minute to resolve. We can go into colon tests here. We can set the price that we want to set up for it. So we'll edit it. We'll set the price up for, let's say, $4,800. It was not sold. As you set up each name, you can add a description if you wanted to get an index better. I don't bother with that. You can do a starting offer. I tend to leave it blank, but if you want to weed out some people, you can put $100 so you don't get people wasting your time with other things. I would leave the default page the same. All this colors is set up ahead of time, and then basically you just hit save. Starting offer must be greater than $100. I thought I put $100 in. See what it says this time. There you go. Don't know why I didn't like it the last time. So now we can preview this domain, and there you go. You've got colon test because it was pointed beforehand. You can buy it now for $4,800. You can make an offer, and you'll notice it doesn't have the rent yet one. So we're going to go back. We're going to look at our portfolio, and we're going to add the rent to it. We'll enable it for $100 a month, and now we can go back here, and we can refresh, and there it is. And then people can decide what they want to do. If they want to make an offer, they can make an offer. You've got the minimum price at $100, so somebody could offer $500 and go on from there. These pages are nice enough to look at. I think they're good. I think they work. I've sold some domains through here. You also have the option of showing your other domains on here on the portfolio. I don't like to do that just because I don't like people to know that I have multiple domain names. I'd rather they think that I'm not trying to profit off a million names and I'm just trying to sell them the one. So I disable that, and I'll show you where to do that afterwards. So the other thing that I like to do is when you add your domains to here, and some of you have portfolios with 500 or 1,000 names, you'll add your names and then give it a few days. And then once you've done that, you can sort them by monthly views and then start to price the names down by monthly views. Now, she's only had them here for a little while, a few days, as you can see. So that's why the traffic's a little bit lower. But you can see Albuquerque Web Designs has good traffic. Obviously, it's great for lead gen, so she should make sure that these are all priced, which she has already done. London Custom Homes, Ottawa Roofers, all good names, and you can see that she's done them nicely. So everything is pretty much set up. Cream Vodka is another name that I like, but one of the best ones here is for sure Weed Resellers at $1,200, and it has good traffic. Anyway, so that's that. So what are you going to do when you get into your account? You're going to go into settings. I am not going to show you anything about her personal information, but I will show you the stuff about the pages. So we can look at the standard page. You can take that. You can change it to a minimalist. You can change it to brandable, whatever you want to do. I leave it on the standard. I use color. I pick black. I don't need anything else. I don't want to make it so it doesn't stand out. Font color is fine. Selling options. Change this option will override. So you want buy now and make offer because you don't want to lose somebody just because they decide they don't want to pay your buy now price. A make offer is just a starting point to get somebody who's somewhat serious as opposed to somebody else. And then you want to come down here to where it says enable installments. And here, I walked through this yesterday, I think, with somebody else. You can set your installments. You can set them based on 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. They recommend 5 years. That's not all that necessary, and they charge you a fee based on what you're going to do. I would set them at 3 years because for me, that's long enough for somebody to pay off a domain name. And then they can choose when they go to it and they pick least own, they'll be able to choose 1, 2, or 3 years as a choice with this sliding bar. Make an offer, you want to make sure this is on. I'll leave it at 3 years. Now here's where you say meet the seller. You can show your information if you want to show information about you or anything like that. You can meet the seller boxes on. This is where you can promote your domain store. I like to click don't show anything because I want to show them that I don't own domains and maybe they just found the one that's there. So I don't want them to think that I've got like, I don't know, 500 or 50 or 1,000 or 10,000 names and see all the domain names and think there's a reason I have it. So I'll turn that off. CAPTCHA, says only enable CAPTCHA for high-risk visitors. Honestly, I don't really care about that, so I'll disable the CAPTCHA. I'll be able to sort out from offers. I don't want bots, so if you want to, you can leave it here. It doesn't really matter. I disable mine. Host your sales page on Dan, redirect buyers to your internal marketplace. Traffic your domains will be forwarded to the sales pages hosted on dan.com, including live support. So I turn this on so that they can get live support when they opt into this page, because otherwise they won't see the live support and they won't be able to ask questions. So I turn this on. You can add Google Analytics tracking if you want, if you don't trust the Dan numbers. So you can add those as well. Hybrid sales pages, the bonus ID, don't bother with that. You're not going to make any money on parking, so I wouldn't worry about that. And then I click save. Now what I've done is I've enabled all the important things. So I've got the make offer done. I've got installments running. I've got this ready. I can show the information or I can not show who the seller is. It's up to you guys. And then basically I go through all that. Payout settings, that's your bank information. I'm not going to show you that, but you can go ahead and set up your bank settings. Some people have asked me, should we set this up before or after? So my answer to that is before or after you make your first sale. My answer to that is set it up before because it takes Dan a turnaround time basically of about 1 to 2 days to do the transfer and get you the money once it's set up. So you don't want to have to be struggling around and get it when you've got money coming in. So set up your payment settings and then privacy and stuff and ownership. So you can look at things like that. Privacy, you can show whatever you want. You can show your full name or you can show nothing. It's up to you. Public profile, disable links to my public profile. I don't think they need it, but we can leave it on. Doesn't really matter. Keep sales private. There's no reason for you to publish your sales. I know people will say against that. It's up to you. If you want people to know you sold something, you can turn it on. It's up to you. It's not something that I do. And then ownership. This is very important. Melanie's got this off at the moment, but I'm going to tell you to turn it on. What you're going to do is you're going to take this name server tag here and you're going to copy this. So every domain you're going to point to Dan, your first name server is going to be I'll make it bigger for you, is going to be ns1.dan.com. Your second name server is going to be ns2.dan.com. And this is going to be your third name server. The importance of this is you're going to add domains to your account and they're going to say, no, they're not approved because they're not owned by you because somebody else may have had them in a Dan account or somewhere else, or it's under private who is, or whatever it is, and they can't verify it's you. By adding this third name server, it automatically will check and verify that you own the domain name, and then you don't have to go through the trouble of contacting them and doing all that. So make sure that you have at your registrar. You can also preset your DNS server, so every time you register a domain name, the first one will be set to ns1.dan, ns2, and then the third one will be set to this. Make sure you do this because it's very important. Otherwise, you're going to have domains that won't show up in your account. So make sure you do that, and then you can hit save. And you can always go back to that page and copy it and take it again and make sure you put it on the side. So make sure you do that. That's the Dan thing. Oh yeah, I was wondering why we had 56. Well, just because we added the other one. And you can see if we sort by added on, you can see now colon test, which we just added now. It's verified that it's US, it's verified that it's parked here, it's verified that it's using installments now, and it's verified that it's available for rent. And it's telling us we posted it today, buy now of $4,800 and an offer of $100. By tomorrow, it's going to have monthly views because this domain has a heck of a lot of traffic. How much traffic, you're asking? Let's take a look. And remember, this was a free available domain name. So it's one of those things I thought, it's available. So we'll take a look at it. It has 2,400 searches a month with an average CPU of 581. So was this a good buy for $9? Absolutely. These are names you should be looking for daily, and I'll be probably posting lists more and more that you guys should be grabbing and taking a look at. This is one that I just decided to grab today because it was a really good one and I needed a domain to demo for the show. We will get to the available domain names in a second. So this concludes the demo for dan.com and how you should optimize and add your domain names. Again, you can add them in here in bulk. Do that, and then don't worry about this TXT record because you're going to use the NS record as your check. And then the other thing you should do is after you've imported them, you can also bulk edit prices. I don't know if she has any of the same. Yes, she does. So let's look for Cairo. And then we'll find all the names that she has with Cairo. There's only 2. There could be 10. She's got them priced differently. I don't know why. So I'll edit them. And if she's mad at me later, she can tell me. So I'll price them both at $1,500 because that's what she has the other one at. I won't set a starting offer because I really don't care. These things will update. I'll set the rentals for $100 and I'll do this for this one, and that's it. Now you notice that richmondhillchiropractor.ca is not officially parked here yet. So if we check it, it's not going to be parked. So we need to go ahead and fix that and make sure that it resolves here. Or let's take a look. Yeah, it goes to GoDaddy. So she has to change that one over so it goes to Dan. But we're not here to pick on Melanie since she gave us her account to use. So we will just say thank you. And you can check that, by the way, check your whole portfolio and see which ones are resolving and which ones aren't. And I think there's something at the bottom or there's something on your dashboard that tells you what percentage are. You can also sort by this column and see which ones aren't pointing. And you can see she only has 2 that aren't pointing that she can point here and then they'll resolve. What else can I show you? At the front, you'll see that she has 56 domains and 96% of them are pointed. Obviously, there's 2 that aren't pointed. And then the most popular domains, which are what she has here, which is the traffic ones. Obviously, I already said Weed Resellers is really good. She was smart to grab that. That's basically it. That's what you need to know. You don't really care about recently listed on Dan. That's other people's domain names. And that's about it. Anybody have any questions? I'll keep this open and go back to the window in case people have questions. Okay. Thanks, Mel, for the colon test. My memory is going. What is the Google Drive address? Okay, so to get the Google Drive access, you just need to message me on either Facebook or LinkedIn, and I'll send you the folder. You'll apply for access, and I'll grant you permission right away so you don't have to worry about it. John, is Dan's commission fee the lowest among all the domain marketplaces? Yes. So there's 2 things. One is I think they're at 9%, which is the cheapest out of all of them, which is probably why they put it that way. The other thing is, and we'll get to it in a second, there's lots of questions coming up, is do not opt in. Sometimes you'll have the chance to opt in for broker help. Don't opt into that because it adds 20% to the price, which means you're paying 29%, I believe, to have a company go in and broker the domains for you. So don't do that. The other thing that I suggest you do is make sure you price all of your domain names on dan.com. And then if you're interested or if you don't want to do it, I have somebody that for like $300 will go and add them all to all the other marketplaces for you with the same prices, and they'll key them all up and get them all ready. So if somebody wants to do that, you can reach out to me ahead of time. They'll go ahead and import them all, align them all, and I think they'll even categorize them all for you. So let me know about that if anybody's interested. Up, let's say down to that because I don't know what else to say. Is Dan's commission fee the lowest in the marketplace? Also in terms of traffic, is Dan's popular sites like Afternic? So Dan is not as popular as sites like Afternic or Sado yet. It's a pretty new service. It's been around for a while and it's picking up steam. But what I'm saying is use Dan's pages as your landers that you point the domains to because you're going to pay the cheapest price for the marketplace there, but also list them on Sado and Afternic so that you're getting possibilities of getting them there. So I'm not saying don't pick Dan and nobody else. I'm saying get them everywhere and make sure that you have them listed everywhere, but make sure that they point to Dan so you're only paying 9%. Ideally, you can put your phone number on those pages too if you want somewhere, and hopefully they'll call you instead of even going through Dan. But Dan's service charge is pretty good. I have no complaints about paying 9% for somebody to do all the processing and everything for me within 2 days and sending me my money, and I've had some good transactions go through them already. They're also pretty honest and straightforward. I've had some good chats with them even today. You're welcome. Epic does not have a third name server to add. Okay, well, that's a problem with Epic. I don't know what to tell you with that. Also, it came up today that if you're in Canada, you're paying an extra $50. The wire transfers when you sell a domain name. In the US, they're free, but if they're going to Canada and I don't know anywhere else, they may cost you money. That was brought up by somebody in our group. I think it was Jeffrey, but I have to check. Anybody have any questions about the Dan setup before we go to the available names? And it's not a big available name list today. I shrunk it down, but they are good names. Oh, there are new comments. Just give me an arrow that said new comments. That's weird. Yeah, it was Jeffrey. To use Dan's lease feature, minimum price sale is $4.95. That's interesting. I didn't know that, but yeah, it would make sense. They're not going to lease a domain over 3 years for $100, so that makes sense. Plus, if somebody doesn't have $4.95 for a domain name, you may not want to lease it for more than a year. I may be interested in setting up all the marketplace, need the rest details, how many marketplaces, which ones limits. So I'll post a list of it. There's about six, I think, that they set up, and they go through and they add all the domains and everything else. They basically import the file. Bill corrected me on something, which is nice. Dan is really 6% is taken direct. You still pay 3% to use a credit card. Good point, Bill. So good point. I stand corrected because he's right. You would end up paying somewhere else. Anybody have any questions before we go to the available names? We are running on time, but we've had some really good comments, good questions. I hope you guys enjoyed the Dan.com review and how to set up your domain names. It's important that you go through all the steps and give yourself the most possibilities to sell your domain names. And it's also easier when you keep them all in one place. What I do, just so you know, is somebody that's another question. What I like to do is I go in and I'll update the names daily if I add new domains at Dan, and then once a week or once every 2 weeks, I'll update them at the other places. So there you go. What is the point of parking at Dan? So I know what you mean by parking. For me, I just point the domains there because I want a good sales lander to show up and have somebody else process the transaction for 9%. The parking is just so if you actually had traffic, you could use Bodus to park your domain names and make some extra cash, but it would take them away from the for sales page and give them other things to click, like advertisements from other people. I don't like to do that. Parking doesn't do, even for me, I don't get a lot of revenue from parking, so it's not something that I'm going to take away. I'd rather get sales. Back about 10, 15 years ago, parking domains was a really good business. I used to make $800 a day plus parking domains, but now that's pennies, so forget it. Do you have a browser plugin on your browser to see Google search traffic in Google? Yes, it's called Keywords Everywhere. You can download it. It's for Chrome, and I think it's like 10 or 50,000 searches for like $10. So it's cheap, and you should use it. And that's how I get all the searches on my browser. Great Dan overview. Thank you, Andrew. Good to see you. It's been great info. It usually is, and you guys can guide me if there's something you want to see. Great advice listen. I'm sure if you guys are doing this well, we'll get some sales on there. You will. And listen, it's a good page. It's a nice landing page, and I'm happy with it. And I'm making sales. So if I'm making sales, probably you guys are going to make sales too, if you have the traffic or if somebody's interested in your domain name. There was a tip that I was going to give you. I posted it in the group, and I said I was going to show you something tonight. I'm going to have to check the Facebook group now, since we're done with Dan. I don't even know what my own tip was, but it was a good one. Oh, I know what it was before I got there. So it's why are people interested in .io domain names? So I'll let you guys post your thoughts on why you think people are buying .io names, and then I'll give you the real answer and tell you how to make money with it. So go ahead and post your comments and let me know why you think people are buying IO names, .io right now. Go ahead, type your answers. I'm getting a few. While you're doing that, I'll look at a question. Tom, how to set caps on domains? I'm not sure you really need to, so I'm not sure why you would need to set caps on domains. If they were there, it was probably by accident or it did it automatically. Lots of answers here, so here we go. This is going to be interesting based on the answers. You're all along the same lines, so let's take a look. And then I'll tell you what I think the real reason is. And there's a couple of them. Facebook user, which is probably Robert, very techie, good for SaaS. Yeah, it's definitely good for SaaS. Trendy, it's trendy. Because other people are buying them? Yeah, probably. Because a lot of tech startups are using it. Yeah, that's good. Tech use it as input output. Now startups have been using them. Yep, that's true. And then because people think that extension deals with internet related terms. That's good. Facebook user is Jill. I'm sorry, Facebook user. I shouldn't be giving Robert any credit. Sometimes he likes to come in here as a Facebook user and I never know who it is. Good to see you, Jill. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some of the reasons. You're right on some of these things, but you're also wrong on some of these things. Somebody else says it's a trendy extension. Yes, it's trendy, but the real reason that they're grabbing these, and I gotta pay attention to this, the real reason that they're grabbing these IOs is because the .com is taken. They would much rather have the .com than the .io, but they're not going to get the IO for some of these single character, single word domains or double word domains. So they're going with a trendy extension, which is .io. Now, there's nothing wrong with starting up a company on a .io and using it that because it's trendier, because it's all the tech companies, or because blockchain is using all IO and stuff like that. But believe me, they would much rather have the .coms. So how does this make you any money? This tells you, and I'm going to do a walkthrough, probably, yeah, that's another good one. Another good one, can't afford the .com, and when they succeed, they will buy the .com. Jill, that is exactly my point. So I've been working on a consulting thing with a company lately. They own the IO of the of their domain. They want the .com, but they can't get it because somebody has it and it's too pricey, or somebody has it and, well, they want it and it's not too pricey because they're $1 billion company, but they don't know how to approach them to get it. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that people want the .coms even if they have the IO. Oh my God, you guys are really killing me here. That one wasn't Jill. Okay, it's Bruria. Okay, Bruria. So you guys are impersonating each other, and probably Robert's on there too as a Facebook user. So with this company, there's a lot of startups that are using other extensions. Now, why did I mention IO? Because I knew everybody was going to come in here and say it's trendy or it's techie. But it's the same thing with a lot of the other extensions. Why are people getting .ca? Why are people getting .eu? Why are they getting .co.uk? Yes, they may want to be the one in their country, and .ca is popular in Canada, but they also want the .com. Most cases they want it, they just can't get it. So how are we going to turn this into money? Well, in a future episode, I'm going to show you how to find startups that are using .io and then find the .coms and be able to get them and sell them or broker them to them at a really good deal for you. So for example, I'm able to buy an IO for another company that I'm working with for maybe about $2,000, and I know they're willing to spend 30 grand to get it. But you just have to be able to know how to find these startups that have financial backing that just don't know how to get the comms or the right domains, the other domains for themselves. Am I saying there's anything wrong with .ios? Absolutely not. I like .ios. I've registered some. I've looked at my traffic on them. I think they're good domain names. But remember, they're buying them because they don't have the .com. They don't know about, a lot of people with startups don't even know about IO until they see blockchain or crypto or something else going on it. The average user on the street that has a business doesn't even know .io exists. So they're finding out about it somehow and they're registering, but it's strictly, I've registered a bunch of IOs as well, but it's because the com wasn't available or it's too pricey, like somebody said, can't afford it. And when they succeed and when they come out with, before they come out with stocks and before they come out with options and everything else, they're going to go ahead and they're going to get the .com of it. So we're going to look at how to grab some of those, but now I've put an idea in your head, so now you know how to look and find some of these. Maybe you're not sure where to start, but we'll go through some of that later. I'm definitely going to go through it in the masterclass area, and we'll go through that. So any questions before we get started with our available domain names? We're 55 minutes in, so it's been a good session. It's flown by for me. I can't believe it's been 55 minutes already. We're now going to get to the part that everybody loves the most, which is what names are available that you can register right now that have traffic and are only about $9. All I ask from you, tell me what names you like and tell me what names you got, and that's about it. So I'm going to pull the list over and we're going to look at that list. I'll tell you, it's a good list. It's not a large list. There's only 26 names in the list, so I think you guys may be going after some of the same names, so you'll have to type fast. John, great tip. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's only because I've experienced it in the last few weeks with a few companies where they've bought names other than the .com, but they actually want the .com, and it's really interesting to find out how to get to these people. I love that. I think that's part of the fun. Okay, so without that, let's take a look. I will share my screen. Feel free to tell me what names you like, what names you grabbed, what names you got, and let's look at what's available. Okay, available. Scrum Planner. Scrum Master is a big thing. 1,000 people a month, 1,100 look for Scrum Planner. Birmingham Gardener, 1320, not such a great name. Colon Test, 4580. We already took that one. Sorry about that. Small instant loans. 8,300 people are looking for like quick payday loans, but they're looking up small instant loans. Somehow they think they'll get approved instantly. Organic bean coffee, it's popular. 9,200 people are looking for it. This is one of the names I left in the list that I posted yesterday of names that were dropping today, and nobody grabbed it. It's still available as of now. Fashion designing schools, 10,000 people. Colorful painters. It's spelled the UK and the Canadian way with a U, but it's still a brand, and I like it. You're going to find colorful painters and colorful painter without the S are both available. The singular obviously has more traffic because of everything I've told you. It's down here at 78,000. It has a lot more traffic because people look for one painter. They don't look for multiple painters. It's got about 5 times the traffic as colorful painters. Hissing Cats, I just left that in because I think it'd be a good dating site for people. Pre-made cocktail, actually Hissing Cats, 15,300. It could be a good brand. I don't know. Pre-made cocktail, 27,400. Pre-made cocktails is also available. Not sure it's on this list. Coolest logo. 30,000 people are looking for the coolest logo, which is pretty good because what you can do with that is have a really good logo company and t-shirts and stuff would be really awesome. Where do you want to go? Go to coolestlogo.com. It's a brand on its own. 30,000 people. These are all available now, so you shouldn't be listening to me. You should be registering. Listen and register. Video editing professionals. 32,000 people. Also, video editing professional, 139,000 people. Well, why is that? Because they're not looking for multiple professionals. They're looking for one professional to do their video editing. Fantasy feeders, 50,000. This is probably good for fantasy sports. Here's your colorful painter we talked about, 5 times the traffic of colorful painters, 78,000. Dummy coding, 100,000. There's all kinds of coding, and it's called dummy coding. Website for builders. You could sell websites for builders, or you could build websites on it, 103,000. For those of you that like history, you could have a list of all the historical websites and have AdSense on it, 121,000 people a month look for that. Video editing professional, again, singular, 139,000 people. It's about 4 to 5 times the time of the plural. Great domain name, video editing professional. It's a business in a box. It's a great name. Loans forgiven, 176,000 people are looking for ways to get out of their loans. Eventually, it could be a thing, or governments could do things. Dentistry for students, 180,000. Somebody mentioned to me yesterday they were going to one of the best colleges for students of dentistry to get some work done. 180,000 people look for that. This is an interesting one because I'm not sure what you could do with it, but HR loves this, the diverse workforce. Everyone loves that. It's a really good, powerful term. 242,000 searches. That name's going to sell. Automating processes. Well, what company doesn't want to do that? 317,000 want to automate processes, so that's a pretty good one. Required jobs, 412,000. This could be for anything. I'm not sure what you would do there. Could be a job hiring site, I guess, like Monster, because people require jobs, but I'm not sure they're required, but still good for something. Co-working office spaces, 545,000, more than 500,000 people. Lots of people are renting co-working spaces and working out of them and closing down their offices. Medication for migraine, 700,000 people have migraines and they're looking for medication. Sanitation and cleaning. This is a pretty good name. 1.3 million. It covers everything they do. Sanitation and cleaning is a good name for a company. And then carpet for home. 6.6 million people are looking for carpet for home. So if you're a carpet company, a big carpet company, that seems like a really good domain name with lots of traffic that you would want. And those are available domain names for today. I'll cross off colon test since I grabbed that one early. Let's look at what I like. There's some really good ones here. I mean, I can't really cross off much for $9. Loans forgiven, maybe, but it's got a lot of traffic. The rest of them are pretty good for $9. Fantasy feeders, if you're not into fantasy football. Hissing Cats, be a funny dating site nobody would ever forget. The rest of them are pretty good. I'm not sure about small instant loans. You'd have to see that, but it's got traffic. Scrum Planner, I'd probably drop Birmingham Gardener, 1,320. I don't know what I'd do with that, but there's a pretty good list of names in here. Take a look at that. Let me know what you liked, and let's go from there. I will stop sharing. Excellent. You guys are posting while you're doing that. I'm going to upload the list to Google Drive, as always, so you can get them right away. Again, if you don't have access to the Google Drive, just send me a message, and I will get it to you. Google Drive, under me. Here it is. So I'm adding them in here, and I'm deleting the files that are there. So I'm deleting the October 28th ones since we don't need them, and October 29th. Go ahead and post the names that you like, and I will drop these here. So there's a couple extra files I'm putting in here. I'm putting in available that was available yesterday. I'm putting in what's available today, and I'm putting in the drops. So you guys will have a bunch of lists in there that you can look at. Dropping and available. Yep, they're all up there, so you have them now. Let's see, what do people like? Waterproof, yeah, that's a good one. Medication for migraine, that's a good one. Anybody else have any questions or anything that you got? We are over an hour. Don't care though, it's your time I'm worried about. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Feel free to tell me what you got, and if you have any questions, post those as well. Give you a couple minutes to do that. Otherwise, like I said, I'm glad I decided to do the show this week. It was a really great list, and I would be sorry if I missed that list, because when I do these shows for you guys, I actually look at the list myself, where some days I may skip it. Fix washing machine. Yeah, that's a really good one too. It's a service. It's a really good name. Okay, I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a great night, an amazing weekend, and I will see you back here next week. Any questions, let me know. And for those of you that need to be added to the Google Drive group, please send me a request, and I'll send you the link so you can get added right away. Thanks a lot, and have an amazing